Welcome, everyone. It is really nice to see all of you here. Thank you for applying. Thank you for your efforts, and welcome aboard to the Junior Commission, the West Bloomfield Junior Leadership Commission. All right, when we listen to their voices, they actually are changing the world and making it better for people, for animals, and for the environment, because everything is interconnected. It's an honor to share this important day with you as we swear in these young leaders and stewards of our land. Welcome, Junior Commissioners. All right. Okay, I'd like to start out with the Pledge of Allegiance, if we could all stand. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think a few introductions are in order. My name is Sally Wenzel. I am a West Bloomfield Township Parks and Rec Commissioner and an Environmental Commissioner. I serve on both commissions. This is Kelly Heyer. She is our Director of West Bloomfield Parks. We have Jonathan Warshay here, our Township Supervisor, and Kathy Russ, the Director of our Public Library. Okay, and we've got Mark Teicher in the audience, who's also an Environmental Commissioner, and Gershon Blumstein, who is also on the West Bloomfield Environmental Commission. All right, so without further ado, Kathy, would you like to do a little welcome and tell us more about your role?
Thank you. Excuse me. Whoops. Sorry, Tyler. So welcome, everyone. I remember all of your applications, and they were all very impressive, so I'm very excited to work with you. I'm Kathy Russ. I'm the director of the West Bloomfield Township Library, and because this program is the Junior Leadership Commission, but it incorporates elements of sustainability, the environment, along with parks and library, I wore this jacket, which is made out of flour sacks. So I thought it was a good example of sustainable clothing. For those of you who are more fashion forward than I am, you might maybe give me some tips later on how to style it better, but I thought it was kind of a cool example of how things can come together. So we are looking forward to working with you, to getting to know you, and to help implement some of your suggestions and ideas to help make West Bloomfield an even better place. So one of the components with this program is leadership. You're junior leadership commissioners now. Leadership is really important, and it's really important when it comes to local government. Why, you might ask? Well, I'm going to retire someday. So someday when that comes, I want to make sure that there's somebody who can take over for me and run the library. And you can start thinking about what happens to organizations if they don't have people who can step into those leadership roles, right? So one of the things that we want to do is not train you to take over the library right now, but get you thinking about that, because someday, if you decide you want to take leadership positions in organizations like libraries, like parks, like local government, like be the township supervisor, we want to help make sure that you're comfortable and you feel confident and that you feel excited about the work that you'll be doing. So that's part of what we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about government. You hear about government all the time. You hear about federal government, you hear about state government, you hear about local government. Government is closely associated with politics, but actual government is not politics. Government often fills the roles that the private sector, so businesses like Amazon or Kmart, which is not around anymore, or Walmart, Target, that they might not find profitable or attractive. So for example, if you've been around lately, you know that there's road construction, right? So a construction company can build a road or repair a road, but they get paid. So who pays them? Government, right? Because if they weren't paid, do you think that they would do it on their own? Right. So see, you're already there. Think about trash pickup. If there wasn't a company that picked up the trash and was paid to pick up the trash, do you think that somebody would go into business for a trash pickup company if they weren't getting paid? Right. So one of the things that I want you to start thinking about are what are some of the essential services in your community that government takes care of that maybe a company, a for-profit business wouldn't do. Government provides essential services, things that need to be provided that aren't necessarily profitable to the private sector. And it's important to talk about all this because these services are paid with, if not your tax dollars, the tax dollars of the people that you live with. So, the services that are not always considered essential are parks and library. Obviously, Kelly and I think that they're essential because they add to the quality of your life and the lives of the people who live in the community. But not every community values them the same way. So, the environment, parks, the library, we are all working together to provide that quality of life for you who live in this community. And we have a really great partnership. The library and the parks department work together on a lot of events, but we also work together on a lot of things that affect the environment. Kelly is going to talk to you more about the parks department, but what I want you to know is that the library is a place where you can study, you can meet, you can learn things, you can check out materials, but the most important thing that the library does is it gives you access to information. You have access to information everywhere you go these days. You can get information from the internet, from TV, from the news, from podcasts, you name it. But have you ever heard of fake news? Have you ever heard of alternative facts? Have you heard of scams? So how do you know that the information that you're receiving is correct, is accurate, is credible? That's where the library comes in. Everything in the library has been already vetted or looked at to make sure that it's credible and accurate. So in other words, we do that paring down for you. So you don't have to do this, we do it, and then we can give you this. The other thing that is great about the library is we give you access to all that information, but we don't try to tell you what to think, and we don't try to tell you how to make up your mind. We show you all of the information that's available, and we let you make up your own mind. And I don't see a lot of places in society these days that are really doing that for you, right? So that's very important in a free society. And we won't take a lot of time on this because we're going to talk about it at your session in July. But can anybody tell me, anybody have any ideas why that's important? Yeah. Yeah, so you can form your own opinion. So somebody's not always telling you what to think. So we will talk more about that, and thank you for that. We'll talk more about that at the session in July. So one of the requirements of your term in office is to help out at a library volunteer opportunity, and that information is in your packet. But our summer reading kickoff is coming up on June 7th. We have our Kids Commotion program, which is a partnership with Parks at Marshbank, June 12th. We have a craft night, if you're interested in crafts. We have a summer soiree at the sports park. We have another arts and crafts swap coming up in July, and we have a magic show. So hopefully you will find something in there that interests you. Last but not least, I want to give you an example of how all the things that you will be learning about comes together. At the Michigan Week breakfast last week, the library won the Environmental Stewardship Award for our efforts to recycle and make the library a more sustainable place. So you might not think of the library when you think about the environment, but any business, any organization can make efforts to do better when it comes to sustainability and the environment. So that is my part, and I'm so excited to work with all of you. Thank you for all being here today, and I'm going to turn it back over to Sally.
Thank you, Kathy. All right. So I'm going to talk about the program, and 1 second here, get my notes. Okay, again, I'm Sally Wenzel, and I'll be the main contact for this program. My information is in there, so if you have any questions or concerns, email me. I think my phone number's in there too. No problem. Okay, I'd like to start by saying that each junior commissioner has a unique perspective and a powerful voice. And we want to help you find that powerful voice to identify issues that you're passionate about and what steps you can take to follow those passions and those concerns about any issues that you see are important in your community on a local level. More importantly, we'd like the students to go from saying, oh, they should really do something about that, to I'm going to do something about that. And I know exactly who I should speak to. So we want to form these partnerships, these relationships, put some names to faces in our local government. So required attendance. During a year-long term, your term date started May 1st and it ends April 30th, 2026. Each of you will enrich your ecological vocabulary through quarterly hands-on workshops. We're going to get outside and take a closer look at the difference between native plants and invasive species and why the heck does that even matter. We'll go inside as well and explore our gorgeous and innovative public library and all of the resources that it beholds. So a bit more about the quarterly workshops. We're going to kick off July 14th, as Kathy mentioned, with a local government 101 and how it affects you at the library, and dig a little deeper there into the local government system. October, nature-based workshop. So this one, where I'd like to plant some daffodil bulbs with you. I don't know where yet. Maybe you can choose. We'll have to ask Mr. Gardner and see where he thinks is a good spot at the middle school or maybe somewhere else. And the metaphor here is how plants bring their energy back into their roots over the winter. They draw it all down and they're storing it. So at much the same way, we kind of do the same thing when we go into kind of a winter hibernation mode, at least I do. And during this off season, we put the garden tools away and we pick up our pens. And what can we do with that stored energy and that power? Who can we write to about these environmental issues and concerns? What state senators, what state representatives, what local township trustees or environmental commissioners? Who can we write to for support in the concerns that we have? Who's going to listen to us? So that'll be our first workshop. The next workshop, VR headset tour of gardens of the world at the library. I know they've got a bunch of new VR headsets, and I'm excited about that one because the library really is a hub for teens and tweens, and they're always innovating and trying to get new things to accommodate you. In March, we'll do another nature-based workshop with a spring theme. What's the difference between a native plant and an exotic plant? And there are more native plant sales right now than ever before. There used to be one or two. Now the list, it just goes on and on. I think there were maybe 30 in Southeast Michigan this season alone in the spring. And why is that? Why is this movement happening? Why is that important? How do we handle invasive species in our parks and in our community? Why is that important? These are all questions we're going to dive deeper into, and also what kind of ordinances do we have in our township that address these issues, and why were these ordinances formed? Ordinances, the laws of the land that everyone has to obey. Not everybody likes them, but we have to enforce them. Right, environmental commissioners over there? So junior commissioners are also required to attend 3 public meetings, 1 West Bloomfield Public Parks and Rec Commission meeting, 1 Environmental Commission meeting, and 1 Library Board meeting. And when you go to these meetings, you'll see on the back page of your program today, there's a little guide under the oath of office to tell you that we'd like you to get up and speak at the public meeting, introduce yourself. You don't have to go on and on, but just let them know who you are, let them know you're there, and stay for the whole meeting, and then maybe introduce yourself to some of the commissioners or board members when you're finished. This gives you a chance to get some public speaking experience. And you can bring notes and read from them like I'm doing right now, because it's okay. It's okay to have your notes with you. There are more details in your folder, and please at any time, again, contact me with any questions or concerns. So before I hand it over to Supervisor Warshay to do the oath of office, I'd like to give some credit to the City Beautiful Commission of Dearborn. So for the past 3 years, I had a table set up there giving out free native wildflower seeds and books and things. There's all environmental organizations there. So they have a junior leadership commission as well. They call them junior commissioners, and they have this big breakfast, and everyone gets up and takes an oath of office. And it was so moving to see this whole room full of kids stand up and take their oath and take it very seriously. I thought, we need to bring that back here to this community. And so it's happening, and here you are, and you are the pilot program. Thank you. And so here we are, and now let's make it official. Mr. Warshay. Thank you, everybody. Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. You heard from the library director and from Commissioner Wenzel. And the township, the stuff we do isn't quite as fun as Parks and Rec and the library, although we do have police and fire, and we really have a lot of fun people who do work in the township. But it deals mostly with money or building permits. You know, if you're getting a roof on your house, a new deck, or maybe a new home, then you need a few of those. So that's the kind of stuff we do at the township. And when you come to the township, we'll show you more about it. All right, so for the oath of office, if you notice, it's on the back of your program. And when you repeat after me where it says state your name, you're supposed to say your name, not state your name, just so you know that. All right, if you're all ready, would you all please rise? And I'll introduce the commissioners. So you can just sort of wave when I say your name. We'll do that first before we actually do the oath of office. We have Abby Rubenstein, Aurora Malushi, Chelsea Coker, Ellie Rucker, Henry Aldrich, Jamie Bernier, Justin McKenney Jr., Karav Joshi, Kamila Zinkovska, Kaylin Brown, Regan Leese, Rebecca Sullivan, Terry Ugbosu, and Xander Price. And I hope I got your names right. If I didn't, you can correct me later. All right, now we'll do the oath. So raise your right hand, please. I state your name. Say I and then your names.
I, Chelsea Coker,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge
and to the best of my skill and knowledge,
execute the powers and trusts
execute the powers and trusts
reposed in me as a junior commissioner.
reposed in me as a junior commissioner.
I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan.
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan.
I will perform my duties
I will perform my duties
with responsibility and respect
with responsibility and respect
as a representative of my peers.
as a representative of my peers.
Congratulations. All right. Welcome aboard. Hope to see you all at a township meeting soon. But a short one. Don't pick the long ones. We don't want to have to make you wait till the end. So congratulations, everyone. We're really happy to have you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions at this point? No, nothing deep on your minds? All right. That means we've covered a lot of the material.
Do the parents have any questions?
Yeah, parents. We'll take questions from you too. Okay, well, much more information will be coming your way. So, again, I'm Kelly, and I have the privilege of being the head of West Bloomfield Parks. And I've spent my whole entire career in Parks and Recreation. I started out when I was 14 doing some seasonal work in a department where is my hometown. And then I went to Michigan State University and I realized, oh, you can major in Parks and Recreation. Great. Because it really spoke to my heart every summer that I would return. And throughout the year too, I found myself attracted to improving the community and helping out where I could. And that was really motivating to me and inspiring because I wanted to give back, but I also wanted to have some kind of career. And so after Michigan State University, I spent 14 years in Independence Township, serving that community. And then this year will be my 10th anniversary at West Bloomfield Parks. So for those of you who have been a longtime resident of West Bloomfields, I hope you're happy with the services here. I would love to hear back from you. But for West Bloomfield Parks, we operate nearly 600 acres of parklands, 12 parks, 1 senior center, and we also have 13 miles of trail. So hopefully you've been able to explore in your young years. And we've also, we host
many special events, time-honored traditions. Perhaps you've had a family reunion in the park, or you've gone to a birthday party. And for those events that Mrs. Russ spoke about in the library, we have the same fun things that happen in our parks, but they're usually outdoors, so you have to be able to tolerate a little bit of the weather. But we'd love to have you volunteering for a trick-or-treat trail or the camp out in the fall. This summer, we're having Summer on the Bank, so if you want to get your hours and experience in early, we have that happening at Marshbank Park. So lots more to come on that, but we are spaces in which people can find peace, meet up with their friends, get some exercise. So parks are a really important part of the community because some people they might not have a big backyard. And so that's a way for you to connect with nature. We also have the dog park, community garden. We've got really unique spaces. And then you can also work for us. So you can be like me, work in the parks. At 14, we hire at Lily Pad Springs, which is the local water park, spray park, and there's tons more opportunities. So again, wanted to make sure that you knew that your local parks department is much more than that. We have so many services that we are excited to share with you. So before we wrap up, I want to address the parents and guardians that are in the room. Thank you for supporting your kids doing this. I know what it's like. I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old myself. So especially when they're embarking on something new that I can't say thank you enough and extend my gratitude and appreciation for you supporting your kids to do this. Because there'll be rides in the future, and I know maybe even some homework. So parents, the other piece of homework is got to take care of risk management, a waiver. So if you guys can just pass around this. This is a little worksheet I made for all of you. So before they come to the first session or volunteer with us, please complete the volunteer waiver, and that allows us to gather your emergency contact information as well. It's all digital, so if you have problems with the links, let us know. And then now to our junior commissioners. As you already heard, today is the start of something really exciting. You're joining a program that gives you a chance to make an impact beyond your school and have your voice heard in the greater West Bloomfield community. We're making sure, though, that we're going to have a lot of fun. So sometimes government work can be a little boring, but I assure you, the people that are in front of you today will make sure that your efforts are rewarded with lots of fun. And we're also thinking about ending the year with some kind of final hurrah. So we'll have you guys plan that because all your work should be recognized and appreciated and celebrated at the ends of the junior commission term next spring. So what do you think? How does all this sound? Yeah, give me a little thumbs up. Yeah? Are you like this maybe? Okay. We'll make sure that the thumb meter is vertical before we end this thing. And then the other big question is, have you ever had a chance like this before? Like maybe in school serving something or outside of school? So I see some head nods. Okay. So that's okay because we need experience and not experience to make this all work. And the best part of building a new team is we didn't pick people that are all alike. We want each of you to complement each other. So that's important to be a part of a team like this, is that you all bring different facets. And for those of you that have experience, we'll lean on you a little bit. And then those of you who don't, by the end of the year, you'll be able to say that you have now bringing lots of experience to the table. And really to reiterate what we've already heard, that you guys are the future. So I never really thought about the things that we're talking about today as a very young child, but when I got involved in my high school, that's when it really started clicking, and I took advantage of any kind of leadership role. And that's always been a part of my personality. And that's not for everybody, but we as adults are giving you the opportunity to gain those experiences and put them to use. Because as what Kathy said, once people retire from our departments or when our commissioners are done serving their term, who's next? And sometimes we need to plant the seeds early so that way when you guys become 18 and can run for office and vote, by the way, that may be something we talked about today. You'll want to serve in the library board, you'll want to serve on the Parks Commission, or even run for office on the township board. because you can do anything you put your mind to. And our government structure is set up in such that you can run for those offices. So we're going to give you a lot of behind-the-scenes information, which is critical because you are going to be ahead of all of your other peers. We're going to also share some trade secrets about how to run these organizations. And then you'll, in turn, be able to give us some ideas and maybe suggestions on how we can improve those services for our community. And I can also assure you that it's going to get easier with practice. So with anything new, it's just repeating the experiences. So you'll get to know Commissioner Wenzel, Director Russ, and myself through the different workshops. And then again, you'll be able to affect real change. So once you know who the decision makers are and you can affect some influence, that's how things get done. And yes, it is exactly what you said, Director Russ, is when you sit back and you're thinking, oh, they're going to take care of that. Oh, they're going to take care of that. Well, guess what? I found more in my adult life, no one's going to take care of that. So it is people that have courage and ideas and energy and passion that make things happen. So thank you. I'm so proud of you for taking this step because it is taking some courage and putting yourself out there, especially with some of the competition in the essay questions in the actual application process. So again, thank you. If you have questions, we're going to be here. All right. Thank you again. And that concludes the afternoon.